We got the return of Chief Judge Jeb Boasberg, and he's wagging his finger again at the Trump administration and its Department of Justice lawyers, and he's...
Welcome to the Midas Touch Network with Michael Popatch reporting. Today we dive into explosive developments as Chief Judge Jeb Boasberg takes on the Trump administration's Department of Justice lawyers, threatening criminal contempt charges and referring them to bar associations for possible disbarment. This stems from stunning whistleblower allegations about lies and human trafficking cover-ups. Let's break this down.
He told them in a hearing that just happened that he's this close to finding them in criminal contempt and referring them, the lawyers, to state bar associations for possible disbarment. He said that the whistleblower that came out a month ago, Erez Ruveni, who filed a 27-page single-spaced letter because he wanted to protect the attack of the rule of law that was being perpetrated by his Department of Justice, a place that he worked for 15 years, including in the first Trump administration. He came out against Emil Bovee, who's Donald Trump's number 3 lawyer and number 3 in the Department of Justice, up for a big job as lifetime appointed federal judge. Came out against Drew Ensign, who appeared in front of Judge Boasberg. And according to Judge Boasberg at the hearing, that whistleblower complaint, which indicates that the Department of Justice was told to lie to Jeb Boasberg about the planes that were fueling and being ready to take off to go to CCOT in El Salvador.
Here's the heart of the scandal. DOJ lawyers allegedly instructed to lie to a federal judge about flights tied to illegal deportations. That's contempt of court with potential criminal consequences.
Those lies are now coming home to roost. And as I said when back at the moment, when Erez Ruveni's whistleblower complaint saw the light of day and became the bombshell that it is, that there were going to be lawyers who were going to be referred by judges to state bar associations for disbarment, I said it was going to be Judge Zinnes in Maryland, who handles the Abrego Garcia case, and it was certainly going to be Judge Boasberg. And now we've got the hearing in which Judge Boasberg has said exactly that. I'm Michael Popatch here on the Midas Touch Network and Legal AF. Now, you might think this is a repeat hot take episode, and it's not. I should hold up a newspaper to show, like they do in videos, hostage videos, to show you this is today's date. Because several months ago, Judge Boasberg already found, before Erez Ruveni became a whistleblower, that the Trump administration, it was probable cause to find them in criminal contempt. And when I say the words contempt, I mean the highest levels of contempt, meaning criminal contempt, meaning somebody's going to go to jail. He ruled that based on his findings at that time, that the Trump administration Department of Justice acted in bad faith. It continued to send planes to El Salvador after he had ordered them to be grounded. And they contained 250 people. Now, side note, those 250 people who were kidnapped by the Trump administration and sent to El Salvador without due process were then human trafficked by the Trump administration. And
this is beyond legal misconduct. It's about human rights abuses hidden in a 3-way deal with dictators and traded lives. The stakes couldn't be higher.
In a 3-way deal between the Trump administration, the dictator of El Salvador, Bukele, and the dictator of Venezuela, Maduro, they were traded for 10 other people, including some Americans. But when they were traded, the Trump administration said, we may bring them back if a judge orders us to and we feel like it. That's not going to be good enough. That's not going to be good enough. That's being handled on Judge Zinnes's courtroom. That's being handled in Judge Boasberg's courtroom. Now, he already found them in that criminal contempt, probable cause for criminal contempt, and was about to take the next steps, which would have been putting somebody in jail and referring them, which judges do for disciplinary proceedings with the bar associations, which hold the ticket to their law license. Now, that was appealed by the Trump administration, and a 2-1, 2 Trumpers, Rayo and Katsas on the D.C. Circuit, blocked this contempt proceeding. In fact, we're 90 days out. They haven't done a darn thing with it. They entered an administrative stay, which is supposed to be for a short amount of time. We're still waiting. 2 months later. No briefing schedule, no oral argument. They haven't done a darn thing. The ACLU, friends of the Legal AF channel, which are representing these 250 people not named Abrego Garcia, who are now back in Venezuela in violation of their due process rights again, they filed the Erez Ruveni whistleblower with the court as new supplemental material, and that still didn't move DC.
Hey everybody, Ben Meiselas here from the Midas Touch Network. I wanted to let you know about my podcast partner, Michael Popak's new law firm. It's called the Popak Firm. Michael Popak's pursuing his dream of starting his own law firm, really based on the popular demand by all the Midas Mighty and legal AFers who are approaching Michael Popak with their cases and saying, can you help us? And at that time, Popak was not able to. So he went out on his own. He started the Popak Firm, where he is now handling catastrophic injury cases like car accident cases, trucking cases, malpractice cases, big negligence cases, wrongful death cases. So if you or someone you know have a case like this, the consultation with Popak's firm is free. Give him a call. See if you have a case. It's thepopakfirm.com, thepopakfirm.com, or you can call 877-POPOK-AF, P-O-P-O-K-A-F. So 1-877-POPOK-AF. Give Michael Popak a call. And I'm really proud of you, Popak. Thanks for all the hard work you're putting in.
This judge here, Booseberg, acknowledged in the hearing that just happened that it's frustrating the plaintiffs because the circuit court is not doing a darn thing about the criminal probable cause. But the judge says it only strengthens my findings. So if his contempt proceedings are being stymied by DC, what they can't stop is him making a criminal referral to the bar associations that hold the licenses for the lawyers in front of them. Because they're not going to be able to, the court is not going to be able to stop the judge as an officer of the court at the highest level for making such a referral. And that's what came up in the hearing. So the takeaway is, while the 2-1 Trumpers may have been able to stop Boasberg's probable cause for criminal contempt proceedings from moving forward and stuck it in the mud, they can't gag him from making the referral. Now, we'll have to see what happens. The lawyers who are definitely in the crosshairs with Judge Boasberg are Drew Ensign, who was Erez Ruveni, the whistleblower's boss. Because in the whistleblower complaint, he said that Drew Ensign effectively lied to Judge Boasberg and other judges about the status of the flights fueling wheels up, everybody's in their upright and locked positions, tray tables up on the way to El Salvador when the judge says, what is the status of these planes? I don't know. I'll have to look into it. He knew, according to Erez Ruveni, but he purposely did not tell the truth to the judge. He lied to the judge. That's another way of putting it, which is contempt, and you'll lose your bar license for doing it. Lawyers around Donald Trump get criminally prosecuted. We saw it in the first term. They lose their bar licenses, and yet they continue to work for the man. I don't really understand it. It's against their own interest and their professions.
The endless cycle of corruption. Lawyers lose everything, licenses, freedom, yet keep playing the game for Trump. It's a systemic rot undermining the rule of law itself.
It is the most corrupt Department of Justice we've ever seen. It's the most scandalous, scar-ridden, corrupt Department of Justice we've ever seen in 200 plus years. And we're 6 months into the administration. And judges like Boasberg and Zinnes and Crenshaw in Tennessee and other judges in DC and Maryland and other places are working overtime to bring Donald Trump and his rule of law abuse to heal.
Chief Judge Booseberg's relentless pursuit of justice exposes a DOJ spiraling into criminal contempt and lawlessness, even as appellate courts stall actions. The whistleblower's courage shines a light on covert deportations and human trafficking. Now, the legal profession must reckon licenses are on the line and no one is above accountability. Drop your take below. Should these DOJ lawyers be disbarred? How far should judicial discipline go?